Good morning, everybody. We have a marginally lower trade in the grain markets here on Thursday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. December corn futures down 2.5 cents at 414 and 3/4. January soybeans down 3 3/4 at 1148 and 3/4. December Chicago wheat down 4 1/4 at 593 and 3/4. December Kansas City wheat down 4.5 cents at 549 and 3/4. December spring wheat down 2 cents at 553. So kind of a quiet trade here this morning. Fund traders are heavily long the grain complex. At yesterday's close, private groups estimated that funds were net long 306,000 contracts of corn, 274,000 contracts of soybeans, and 39,000 contracts of SRW wheat. That combined net long across those three contracts, 619,000 contracts, is about equal to the previous record from 2012. And we were probably above that at Tuesday's close following that report if these private estimates are realized, and we'll see what CFTC has to say about the matter here in a few days. But when you get into a situation when there's heavy fund length, and I've talked about this so much in the past, but there's always the risk of liquidation. And yes, funds have been heavy long these markets for a long time now. One thing that is of particular concern to me, perhaps, is that we've got the end of the year coming up. And I've seen scenarios in a lot of different markets in which funds will liquidate or lighten up a heavy position, and it could be a long position or a short position ahead of year's end. So that's a possibility in the grain markets, just one of many risks, kind of given the timing here. Year end is only 7 weeks away. We've got an EIA report this morning. This is delayed due to this week's Veterans Day holiday. Ethanol production over the last 4 weeks is running about 6% versus the same week or same time frame last year. Last week's production number, though, 961,000 barrels per day, was the best since mid-May. Gasoline demand still running 10 or 11% behind last year on average. So COVID and these restrictions, lockdowns, continue to really be a drag on corn demand via ethanol, also on gasoline. And now you've got a spike in cases in a lot of areas of the country. You've had some new mandates or reinstituted mandates, restrictions, whatever you want to call them. Not a good thing for corn demand via ethanol overall. Key U.S. HRW wheat areas, a lot of them going to remain dry here. And this is a situation that we've got to monitor on a daily basis here as drought continues to build in some of these areas. A good chunk of Oklahoma might see some rainfall between now and the end of the month. Most of Kansas, eastern Colorado, southern Nebraska, they're going to remain on the dry side. Some of the Texas Panhandle will see some limited rainfall. So the weather for the United States, I think, continues to be supportive here for the wheat complex. Brazilian weather appears to be mostly favorable. Beneficial rains slated to fall over the next week to 10 days there. You'll see a dry pattern over some of Argentina here during the same time frame. Brazil's government increased its projection for the Brazilian bean crop earlier this week, 135 million metric tons. That would exceed last year's record of 126 million by 7%. You will continue to hear weather forecasters, talk about La Nina and the fact that La Nina is often correlated with dry conditions in Brazil, and that it's something that we've got to keep an eye on. Personally, I think the short-term forecasts are a lot more important. I rarely see these long-term forecasts work out or be successful, and you certainly cannot market grain or trade markets based on long-term forecasts in my experience. So short-term, things don't look bad for Brazil at all. And again, the Brazilian government increased their projection just last week. The corn market set back yesterday. Not only did the futures set back, but we saw the spreads set back. You've got 10 cents of carry from December to March in the corn market here this morning, which is a big move back. The market's now offering some carry. That spread traded in inverse just a few weeks ago. December to July 21, you've only got 16 cents, but that Dec to March offering 10 cents. Anything from 10 to 15 cents is usually a pretty good level to take short futures or HTAs and roll them to March. So you're kind of in the ballpark here in that Dec March spread. Dec to July, not quite there yet. The soybean market has acted well, set back just a little bit from those highs. 1162 is where the Jan contract topped yesterday. We're only 15 cents away from that here this morning. So still a market that seems to be very well supported. Cattle futures were kind of a mixed bag yesterday. Fat cattle were higher, feeder cattle were lower. It was reported on the Fed Cattle Exchange that feedlots were passing on offers of 110. So I suppose that maybe that bodes well for the cash cattle trade this week, which really has yet to develop. We'll see what develops here today. The boxed beef market was a little bit lower yesterday, but it has been sharply higher this week, and that's certainly a positive. Stock market pretty quiet ahead of the cash open. The Dow Jones is down 180 points. S&P's down about 12. Nasdaq's up a little bit. The bonds are up marginally. U.S. dollar just a little bit lower. Crude oil down 20 cents. Gold's up $8. Really a pretty quiet morning here to start off. If you'd like some more information from me, visit my website, www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan. Check out that subscription service. It's $49 a month. It includes my morning email that goes out at 6:30 Central Time every single business day. I send that out right before I do these live streams, and that includes all my marketing recommendations. I'll let you know exactly where I'm at. It's broken down by crop year and by percentage. I talk about things like rolling futures and HTAs like I discussed here. If you're looking to know what I'm doing every single day of the week, certainly check that out. You can cancel it at any time. There's no obligation, no other fees, nothing like that. Everyone have a great day today. I'll talk to you on Friday.